some growing in our backyard.
Right.
What's so special about this collection?
Well, this is part of our stable of premier plants known as perpetuals,
Okay.
which are perennials that bloom all summer long. They don't quit. The regular Shastas, the kind that you and I have always known,
Yes.
they're a little bit tall, they bloom in early summer, and then they fall over, and then you've got to deal with that foliage the rest of the summer, and it doesn't give anything back, but it takes up a lot of space. These bloom continually. They're only 12 inches tall. They're only 12 inches wide. The deer are not interested in them, and they bring that freshness to your garden. If you don't have white flowers in your garden, it looks a little bit dirty. You've got to have the white flowers. It backlights everything else. Great cut flowers, and at 12 inches, you could plant them in the front of the border.
I love that. And then what, I mean, is this an easy plant to grow? When we moved into our house, Shasta daisies were already there. So, I mean, I didn't really have to worry about starting them from scratch, but what do I need to know?
Yeah, they're really easy to grow. If you've ever grown the cone flowers, if you've ever grown daylilies, if you've ever grown black-eyed Susans.
Okay, easy.
These are great companions for those, and they are just as easy. The thing is that we go to the geneticist. You know, again, we don't just look at pretty pictures. We go to the people that develop these. We want the best for you, but it can't be just something that's pretty. It's got to be something that is also sturdy. These are sturdy plants.
Do they need full sun?
Full sun to the tiniest bit of shade, but the more sun you give these, the better, and they will be dense. This is a fantastic representation of what you can expect for years and years to come. Again, the perpetuals, which are the perennials that never stop, only 12 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and you're thinking, yeah, but you know, I've got deer all over the place. The deer will not eat these. In fact, the deer will go by and they think, gosh, those are just too beautiful to eat.
Well, that's good, because usually they're ringing my doorbell and asking what's for dinner.
and say, listen, you're going to have to go somewhere else today. Go
We're
to
not
the
serving
neighbors.
you today. I like the fact that they are a little more dense when you were using that word to describe these, because I do think sometimes Shasta daisies do kind of spread out, and as you said, they kind of, you know, topple over, and then they do look messy.
And
so
then
this looks neater. It's
yeah.
lush.
Yeah.
And then to see those pops of white, you know, it's really pretty.
But the old-fashioned Shasta daisies, you had this big glob of foliage that looked like, sort of like a cross between spinach and lettuce, but you couldn't eat it. So it's like, yeah. Now what do I do? Because you couldn't plant anything else there. It just took up space. Now, this is the way they come out to you. You've got nice big plants that come out. These are going to bloom their heads off this season. And you're going to get 4 of these in the collection. I'm showing 4. This is what you're going to get this season. Again, perpetual white daisies for years and years to come.
I also have to remind you, this is the last day at this price. So if this is something that's sort of on your radar and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I do need some white flowers. I also like the Shasta daisies because they're white flowers that stay white. You know how sometimes there are white flowers that kind of dinge a little bit or they yellow a little bit? I always feel like the Shastas really stay white. So here you have your chance to get something super easy, great companion to the other, you know, high sun plants we've shown you, the echinacea, gorgeous with that. I wouldn't mind this next to those mini roses either, frankly. It'd be
beautiful
pretty
with
that,
the mini
right?
roses.
Really make those colors
just a really handsome look. But at only 12 inches tall.
That's what's nice.
And constant bloom. You can do, as we're doing today, have them in containers.
Do I need to deadhead these?
I do deadhead mine. Yes, I do. I pinch the heads off once they finish blooming, but also don't be afraid to cut them for cut flowers to come inside because you know, the old Shastas, you cut the flowers, there weren't anymore. These are always making new. They're covered in buds, and this is what the geneticists tell me. I tell the same story about the daylilies. They say the trick with figuring out the best plants is not just the beautiful flower that's on it, but you look, are there more buds coming? Are there bloom stalks down in the plant that are going to come up later? You really have to look closely. You don't have to do that because I've already done it. That's how these earned the designation as a perpetual.
I love it.
Because they don't quit on you.
So we're busy on the phones, and if you could use automated ordering, maybe if you have your iPad nearby, your phone even, use the QVC app, which you can download for free for both your iPhone, iPad, and Android operating systems, and place your order that way. We are busy. This is M43613. We've already had 1 item sell out, and here's an update on this one. We had 2,800 for the show. 900 left to go around.
Oh dear.
Last day at this price. So if we do have any remaining and you come back for it, guess what? You're going to pay more. So take advantage of the opportunity to get it now. And this is another great place to remind you that if you've never bought plants and flowers from QVC before, you know, QVC stands behind things for 30 days. But in working with these amazing growers like Cottage Farms, who's been around since 1947, they're guaranteeing plants like this for a year. This is a perennial.
A full year.
It will come back year after year. You'll continue to enjoy it. And that's what I always like to remind people, Philip. You know, you're spending 35 bucks here, right? For something that's going to give you enjoyment for possibly decades, which is fabulous.
Exactly. Or you could go to the nursery and buy the old-fashioned Shastas that we were just denigrating. So,
I mean, now that you've heard our take on those, why would you even want to consider them?
But to make your wish come true,
oh, beautiful.
If you picked up our dazzling design mini roses.
Look how the yellow of the center plays off of the yellow in our Rise and Shine minis.
Containers. Look at this.
They're
in
beautiful.
Containers, how beautiful is this? Make your home a happy home and have a beautiful garden.
I love it.
This is what I always say about my garden. I am never alone when I'm in my garden, even when I'm by myself.
Yeah, that's true. Beautiful combinations that we can put together for you today. This, though, is the only white flower I think we have of the show, isn't it?
I believe you're right.
I don't think we have anything else white. So
and
you really
also the
want
cone
that
flowers
white.
to go with
Cone
it.
flowers
Yes.
is great. These just sold out.
Oh.
So thanks for your calls there. Also coming up, something else that has sold out in the past. We're thrilled to have it in the show today. In fact, we've sold over 45,000 of these. This is our unique climbing rose garden. It's $37 and change. It is M20821, and we will talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Also, see, I won't agree to do a show with Philip unless he brings me something to eat. And so, not really, but we've eaten a lot of strawberries, blackberries.